one gift, though, so you guys have to rock, paper, scissors for it.
Well, depending on what it is, we may just give it to the other. We're generous people here.
We are.
Well, I supplemented on this one claim, and I got this Roman Emperor crown.
This is really fucking awesome.
I'm pissed now, dude.
That would have been...
I literally tried to get the horn, and there was no way that could deliver it until like Friday.
This thing's fucking the shit.
You'll get a real
I honestly feel...
No, dude, he looks like the guy that'll fuck you over in Gladiator. He looks like Caesar. Like, you straight up, like, I wouldn't trust you, Snake. Yeah. So confidently, too, Joaquin Phoenix's character. So confidently. That's amazing.
This thing is legit. Seriously, that's really cool. Thank you, man. That's like super,
not a problem.
super cool.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate the invite.
Oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. You are now tuned in to the best roofing podcast in the world. The Roof Trollz. Here we go, here we go, here we go, yeah. The Roof Trollz.
Oh, shit, that's my phone.
Roof Trollz. We all ready with the phone call? We just started. Already with the phone call? All right. Who was it?
That music is pretty cool. The Roof Trollz. It was Corey, our accountant. Sorry, Corey.
Oh, he's still calling.
No, he's in the voicemail. Maybe he's leaving one. Sorry, bud.
Sorry, Corey. Shout out to Corey, by the way. Accounting.
He's a good accountant. But yeah.
This is accountant. What's the name of that company?
Fuck.
Corey Fody, look him up. He handles all the...
We'll find it, and I'll make sure our Revens and Sparkrow, they'll put a shameless plug-in for him.
Yep.
But as you guys know, I'm Angelo, Eli, and we're with a really cool guest today. I'm excited to talk with him. Elijah, take it away.
Well, this is going to be like our first time actually talking in the conversation longer than 10 minutes. So I've known Gio, which is Gio with Viking Adjusting.
How you guys doing?
Hell yeah. I have known Gio technically since 2017.
Hang on, we don't know you. We just have heard of you.
I was straight up like that's a real thing.
No, I'm
Just the stories.
Yeah.
Stories.
Yeah.
No, we just go real. We have mutual friends, colleagues also that just know you, and so we've just heard about you. I've never met you.
Neither happened. No, sooner or later.
He was at a Christmas party at Mid-America one time. We did karaoke. You did Bad Fish, Sublime.
Yes.
So like we did that, and then
I didn't know that. That's cool.
yeah, he was at the Christmas party where
The year before, I
got
wasn't.
knocked out. After that, yeah, later on that night. It's a really good story.
You showed up. I was
a hired driver. I was the DD that night.
But with Jimmy. Jimmy had invited him.
I know that. I was there at that party.
Yeah, he came there. So like, well,
Oh, I was already gone. Well, that's super cool. Damn, I missed you.
Small world.
yeah. And then Jimmy went and did his own thing. And then I know you and him had a good relationship. So like you went over there for a little bit. But now, you're branching out. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I decided that I needed to do something for myself. And, the only way for me to grow was to take bigger risks and, kind of learn the game a little bit more. There was a lot of things that were kind of holding me back from, potential signs that I thought that I had a shot at it because of the avenues. But as of right now, I'm just my own PA. We started the firm back in February, and we've been going strong since the end of July. I want to say August 1st was when we first started really signing, and that was, end of season. But we're finishing this year pretty strong.
Well, congrats, man. That's
Thank
awesome. That's exciting.
You were motivated to get into public adjusting off the aspect that you were selling, and you felt maybe that some of the jobs that weren't going through, you could have gotten them through had you had more access to that side. Is that like...
Yeah, explain. Yeah, I guess.
I want to know what your mindset was. 'Cause, like, you were a good salesman, I would imagine. I heard some good things. So if you were doing well in sales, like what made you want to go to the PA aspect of it?
So I felt like I would have more say and a better argument, going against, company adjusters for that matter, just for the fact that when I was, a good salesman, I wasn't necessarily allowed to talk policy and stuff like that. So I went and got my license. Pretty excited about that once I got that approval. And now I could start talking policy. And now I have something better in my arsenal to go against a minor repair.
Yeah,
So that helps tremendously, in my opinion.
for sure. And anybody listening that's not from our industry or watching right now, in the state of Indiana, it is illegal for a contractor to discuss policy with the insurance company when representing a homeowner through an insurance process. So we have to get a public adjuster involved if we want to go that route, or the homeowner has to be involved. But then obviously, as you know, it's good to have the homeowner involved, but it's a lot to get them involved, because you need to take all the knowledge we've obtained over the course of a few years and put it into that homeowner's brain on what to say and what not to say in like 10 seconds, and then have them. It's just it's better just to go the PA route and then do it yourself.
Mm-hmm. And anybody could walk an adjuster around the house. You got 12 more that day. They're trying to get out of there fast. Now, when you start to slow things down and you start speaking to them about basic construction knowledge, how this is going to tie in with this, then you start bringing in policy stuff. All those things kind of act together, and eventually you have no way out of saying yes. So that's a really cool thing that you could do, in my position. I'm really excited because it's proved itself thoroughly.
So what made you think about there's so much. All right. So you got into public adjusting, you got your license, you obtained it. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Did you get the Illinois one too?
I did not.
What, really? Only Indiana?
Yeah. Well, I got Indiana, and I also have Michigan.
Yeah.
So I'm licensed in Michigan as well. You drive through southern Michigan, there's nothing but discontinued material, and it's like, man, what's going on? Is there anybody out here working? And it's been something that I was trying to branch into for the last 3 years, but it just wasn't on the menu at the time. We were swamped with other things going on, so I wanted to at least have another license that was somewhat close to where I live. I'm based out of Michigan City, so driving all the way to Illinois for that's where everybody flocks to whenever there's a storm.
Yep.
I'd rather work in my own backyard. I know the back roads. It's closer to my office, so it kind of helps out.
Oh, I encourage them all to go to Illinois. I hate working for the storm, but I only brought it up for the PA aspect, but then I forgot they have the new 10% rule, so it's not even worth it half the time now. But before that, they still allow you to be a contractor and a PA, which is kind of get your hand on both sides. That's like one of the golden areas where you can do that at. But Michigan, it's funny you brought that up, because that's like what we've been trying to do too for almost 2 years now, is try to get in there. We're actually meeting with a company on Monday to possibly acquire them so that we can get into that Michigan market too. Because where are they set up at?
New Buffalo.
New Buffalo. Yeah. They're like, they have a building in New Buffalo, and they're going out of business regardless of us like getting involved in that. They were already on their way out. So like now we're like, well, we might be able to obtain a license, a building, and a company just, off of one purchase, instead of like going out there and starting it all up and stuff. And then we'll be able to open it up, because it's not so much Michigan either for us. Like we bring up Michigan, and everybody's like, oh yeah, Michigan. Like for the reason you said, there's nobody in Michigan right over the border. Like nobody's working there. They're all like further in. Yeah. And then everybody's going to Illinois too. But we feel like we haven't even, in my opinion, we haven't even conquered Indiana. Only, Northwest Indiana from Dyer to LaPorte is massive. There's a lot of ground to cover there. But then you go south, you got Lafayette, Indianapolis still to go through, and that's like a whole new market in itself. Oh yeah. And even further east, we haven't touched, Goshen, Elkhart,
South Bend,
Fort Wayne, South Bend, Mishawaka. Yeah. All those places, those are all available too. So like, I think when we say Michigan, it's just more so to get toward that side, so that we can start reaching out to those other ones, because we're set up in Indiana right now. We want to keep doing that until we feel like, all right, we can move forward now onto somewhere else. And you don't want to grow too quickly, but when an opportunity presents itself like they're presenting now, and on Monday, we got to hear them out. So
yeah, I think that's part of the reason why I haven't really touched Michigan yet. It's good to have a license just in case, but I don't know any reputable contractors out that way. And I haven't been able to really go and venture out there. I've been so busy with Indiana. Everything we've had this year, it's been a pretty active season.
How many contractors are you working with now?
About 4 different ones.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. Good. Any of them your former?
I've worked with, John Alema with BGMT. I've worked with him at a few places, and, he's a great guy.
I know John.
Javi Gomez, he's a great guy too. So, I mean, I'm talking to quite a few people. Got a lot of different tree guys. And just kind of networking has been what this year's been about. Not putting too much on my plate, because I'm not trying to get overwhelmed. I'm trying to give everybody, the right amount of attention and, kind of not fall behind.
Was it just you?
Just me and
one man shop.
She takes care of organizing all my contacts, my clientele. She's in charge of books. She's brilliant. So, I'm used to using like AccuLinks and stuff like that.
That's what we use.
And it's a great system. There's so much that it offers. It's super expensive.
Yeah.
And for somebody who's just starting off, I was like, okay, this is going to be a hurdle. So, she created an entire AccuLinks in, Microsoft something or other. But she's created something for each individual client so that I'm completely...
some of the spreadsheets?
Yeah, she's a wizard. So she's been doing that. And, I use Company Cam. That's about it.
Yep.
The Actimate, stuff like that.
Yep. Nice. Do you do anything with Symbility?
I have not ventured there. I'm still learning a lot with Xactimate, and I'm furthering my education there. But there's so much to learn on that.
Oh, yeah. You should take one of those courses. The boot camp one.
Yep.
I know a couple of them, but Steve Harmon's is really big in this industry. And then, do you know Latif? I forgot, is it Faruqi? He's gonna kill me if I chop his name up. But do you know Latif?
Yes, I've heard on my.
There's another one. He actually employs, if I remember correctly, I might be misspoken now because we're later, and I believe he employs the most level 3 Xactimate certified employees in the industry. Boss Up Solutions.
And there's not that many.
No. Well, there used to not be. I don't know. There might be now. I know. Ian Alberts. He's a level 3, out of Michigan City too.
Okay.
He used to work with PSA and them, but I know he's a level 3. But I don't know that many of them that are. I think level 3 is just all sketching too, if I'm not mistaken. Like the third part is like what you can do outside of the app. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I could be chopping this whole thing up. I have no clue.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I can't speak on it.
I know that level 2 is what everybody wants to be at, and then there's a level 3 Xactimate certified ones. I used to be a licensed public adjuster, but it wasn't my avenue. Like I was licensed in Illinois. I got my license actually in the same class that Blake did. We all went to the same one together.
Okay.
So in 2017. So he obtained his through the same way Sean Harrison did for Indiana. They just submitted some paperwork and said, hey, I've been acting under a PA for this long. And then they just got their license. Sean Harrison has an Indiana public adjuster's license and did not have to take the test. He just told him he practiced underneath public adjusters, and the rules written inside of there, it states that you don't, as long as you have people that vouch for you that are licensed public adjusters to the state of Indiana, you actually don't even need to take the test.
Just get grandfathered in, kind of?
Yeah, I love it. Cool. I don't know about it, but it's like a real thing.
They had to submit paperwork.
You got to pay for your bond and all that stuff beforehand, but yeah, it's you could get it without even taking the test, but you should get the Illinois one just to have it.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking about for next year, because there's been so many phone calls from people in Illinois. Obviously, we got battered this year, but
it's going to keep happening due to the storms. It's moved over. And do you pay attention to that? The tornado alleys, it used to be on the outside of Illinois.
It's shifted quite a bit.
The almanac, literally said it a couple of years ago. Amanda really into those, the almanacs and stuff, the farmer's almanacs. It predicted it, but we saw it. They said it was going to be the most aggressive weather that we've seen in a long time in Illinois last year. And it was 29 tornadoes or some shit like that. It was insane.
Yeah. I got really cool footage this year of, just the path going through the woods. Michigan City had a tornado back not too long ago, and I got lost on my street that I live on because there was no power, no phone. There was trees all on the road, so I had to take all these side roads and stuff. Accidentally.
You don't live in LaPorte anymore?
I never lived in LaPorte.
I thought you lived down the street.
Michigan City.
Where are you at in Michigan City?
We're on Wozniak.
I know the street. Oh, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you. Dude, that's a gold mine to be in right now.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a gold mine. That's where we got all of our business from. I would say of the almost $15 million we're going to do this year, I would say, 11 of it came out of there?
A lot of it came out.
Yeah, I can imagine. And, we were out there for the longest time at the beginning of the year when we got that first storm. And, I guess we got pulled out just because, you needed a peddling license and stuff like that to go door to door.
We got lucky, man. We were the first ones in there to apply for that. We got super lucky.
And, I was going based off, just organic phone calls. People were calling me. My card was out there. And so I didn't have to knock a single door, which was great. And, then they would refer me to their neighbors and stuff like that. But I had some good work behind me to where I could, push that and show them, hey, we just, hooked up, Miss Johnson over here, and, we'd like to do the same for you. So yeah, Michigan City's been really busy this year.
Yeah. And where did you come up with the name Viking?
Actually, a few customers pretty much came up with it. They're like, you kind of look like a Viking. Did you know that? And, I don't know if you could see, I got long hair. So sometimes I don't put it up. And when I end up on a roof and it's just blowing in the wind majestically, a few people have come up to me and said, you kind of look like a Viking. And it stuck with me because like 12 people, I was like, Vikings are cool. They plunder. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I have a gift for you guys.
Damn it, dude. I tried to order you a gift and it wouldn't come until tomorrow. So I was going to get the Viking horn, the one I told you need to be doing when you sign something. I'm going to get it still. I'm going to order the Viking horn for you, but you need to have one. I feel like every house you help out, you need to like be with the homeowner and like blow off the Viking horn like in their yard.
I'm down for that. I've got a Viking flag that I fly.
I know.
That I've signed, and that's been a cool touch. I only have one gift though, so you guys have to rock, paper, scissors for it.
Well, depending on what it is, we may just give it to the other. We're generous people here.
We are.
Well, I supplemented on this one claim, and I got this Roman Emperor crown.
I'll be honest. I think this is going to stay at the office, but this,
it should.
This is really fucking awesome.
I'm pissed now, dude.
That would have been.
I literally tried to get the horn, and there was no way that could deliver it until like Friday.
This thing's fucking the shit.
You'll be a real prince.
I honestly feel.
No, dude, he looks like the guy that'll fuck you over in Gladiator. He looks like Caesar. Like you straight up, like I wouldn't trust you, snake. Yeah. So confidently too, Joaquin Phoenix's character, so confidently. That's amazing.
This thing is legit. Seriously, that's really cool. Thank you, man. That's like super cool.
Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate the invite, and you guys are awesome. Everything you guys have been doing this year, I pay attention, and it's pretty incredible the transparency that you guys are, throwing out there for homeowners. Because, in our industry, there's a lot of back and forth. There's good guys and there's bad guys, and you guys making it and putting it on your platform to where it's easily understood by the homeowners is incredible. And you're throwing that to your sales guys too, which makes them understand, hey, we need to explain this stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was just talking about this on a podcast we did before, but educating homeowners is where people are fucking up at in our industry, especially social media wise, because if you're not giving it away for free, nobody cares. They're always looking for the better deal. So why not explain to them the process, clean up the image of the industry, help the homeowner to better understand it, and then subconsciously they're going to want to use you anyway. They're going to flock to the people who taught them how to do the process. So like, and I don't care if homeowners take the claims out on their own. I really don't, because I know how daunting the task is. So if you're willing to go at that alone, you're going to need my help anyway. Eventually you're going to need someone's help, but I'd rather educate you so at least you understand the type of help that you want. And then once we started doing that, it was more so like, Revens has really helped us out, and Will with Spark Raw, but they've shown us some of the things that like other people aren't doing almost. Mm-hmm. And then when you really dive into everything else, you're just like, man, there are a lot of fuck ups in this industry. Like the clickbait stuff is so played out, but even beyond that, some of the scams that we know of that people do, like you can come out now and educate people on those to watch out for them. So like, even though someone may not have done business with us, they've learned what not to do when we're not, when we're not around, which in my opinion helps out even better. Like, I feel like that's like mission accomplished in my opinion.
Yeah.
So like when people put up posts, they do it in like Crown Point or St. John and all those areas. They put up on those Facebook posts, and they're like, look in search of a roofer. I need an estimate or whatever. Instead of posting like Roman's Roofing, come here, and some of our guys do that. But I'll put a video up relating to what they're asking for, because we have so many of them that touch on each topic. So like, I feel like that's even cool too. Like just pop a video on there and explain the things, and then you walk away from it. That's it. You don't ask for their business. You just, here's the video explaining what you should be looking for. Good luck to you. I hope you find somebody good. Dude, I'm getting the message. Like, they're going to hit me up. They're going to say, hey man, that video was cool. Thanks. Come to them to the house. Like, yeah, that's how we do this.
And I love those pages because, not only do I get a lot of business from there, but dude, you could see where the trend is, and, how people are reacting to these different people commenting. And, I'm really lucky that I've got a pretty good base of clientele and, people just follow my page in general, to where I get tagged, 5 to 6 times in a post. I show the homeowner like, hey, I'm going to respond to them. I'm going to thank them. I'm going to post my card in there. And then if you call me, I'm not going to push on you. I'm not going to send you a friend request until we actually start talking and I start doing an inspection. So there's just so many people right now that have damage, and now they're finding it out when snow's resting on the roof, which really sucks.
Yeah, dude, it's we're running into that too. And then even worse than that, there's a lot of insurance companies that are clamping down on homeowners now. If you know that the damage is there, just because the homeowners didn't file the claim in Michigan City up until this point doesn't mean that there's not damage on the property, guys. Like, I'm sorry that your funds that you allocated for the storm have run out, but people still need help. At the end of this whole thing, it's going to be millions of dollars in insurance claims out of Michigan City. Not just from us, from everybody. Dude.
Mm-hmm.
It was 3.5 inch. That's real. Like, that's real hail. That's damaging flat roofs, shingles, siding, everything. And
The cars.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's
a ramp, dude.
That's such a fun industry to be into. Like, I've only ran into those guys a couple times, and only when it's like severe storms. But I imagine that's probably lucrative too for those guys.
Oh yeah,
It's got to be. It's all insurance proceeds with that too.
their weird little reflector frisbee thing that they come out with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They were out there deep during that storm, and I've seen dents that you could eat cereal out of on Cadillacs. It was a crazy storm.
Oh, I know. I actually chased it at the end of it while it was still going on in Michigan City. I had to park and wait for it to pass through, and then as soon as it left, I was on it. I think we signed like 13 or 14 houses like an hour after the storm. Not even. I signed 2 houses for a homeowner after doing the inspections, and while we were taking the picture, dude, the hail hadn't even melted yet. It was still like all over the place. These craters in the ground. Like, it was awesome, man. We just took pictures of everything. Not awesome. Like, obviously homes are affected by it, but like, they got to see it from our point of view too. I've been doing this since 2017. I've never seen no hail like that before, ever in Northwest Indiana. It just never. I had to drive 2 hours south in Cloverdale out by Indianapolis the last time I saw 3.5 inch hail. And those were the only 2 times in my life I saw them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we were a little bit excited about it, but yeah, man, it was, and then within a day, there was like 400 contractors out there.
But I learned a lot off that storm, and the different aspects of hail. Because the longest argument is when we get the CAT adjusters up from Texas, and they're not agreeing with our 1.25 inch hail that we got on some of these roofs, which it is damaging, but now we've got something that is seriously destroying people's items. Gazebos, greenhouses with
Holes in it.
Holes, it looks like it got riddled. So I think it was a good experience, and a lot of people got taken care of because of that. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see another one like that anytime soon. I'm hoping not, but
Yes, sir. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I want to switch gears a little bit and kind of talk more just kind of about you.
Okay.
So obviously you've been in this industry now for a few years. You kind of transitioned from being more from the door-to-door salesman. Now you're, from the contractor side now to the PA side. What have you been seeing? Like, where do you see other companies where they did well, don't do well, where public adjusters are, the ones that do good and don't do good? I mean, you have insight now. You have a different perspective. And, we had someone that we work with, National Adjusters. We talked to Mike Cortez, who and got, some of their information. He's been doing this, but he's, he comes from a different perspective. He kind of only knows the PA side. He's worked with other contractors, but, you were in it, and just get, kind of just pick your brain to, what you see from the industry.
I've worked with a lot of people, side by side, and, just watching from afar, and, it's always going to boil down to communication. Communication is the best thing that you could establish with your homeowners, also with the contractors, making sure everybody's on the same page. It's very hard to do if you're bombarded by, 50 other claims. But there's also the factor of, bringing bullshit to the table and seeing, I've come to houses where, they already had been working with another company, and I show up and I see the old chalk marks, and it's just completely obviously mechanical damage, which throws the entire argument out the window immediately. So now I'm hunting for legitimate stuff. And my argument is going to be something along the lines of, hey, you weren't paying attention to the right stuff. Here we have actual spatter with dent, obviously not mechanical because it's the way it is. And then you have this that looks like maybe somebody, slipped when they were painting the window with a screwdriver. There's different things that, I've noticed. Some people, they'll circle a lot of blisters, and just knowing the difference between those different things and how damage comes to be, I think is going to be something that changes the way how we get things bought right there on the first inspection.
Yep. I think that some of the sales guys, I tell them that too, like walking away from something sometimes builds more credibility than taking care of somebody on the roof. Like it really does. You go up there and they had somebody for whatever reason they didn't trust, and then they allowed you to go up there too, and then you come back down and that person, they said that there was a bunch of damage, they should file the claim, and then you come down and you're like, meh, let's wait a year, let's see what we could do with it. It's still functional. Like I saw a couple, but nothing to get alarmed about. Like you're in good standing. And that builds trust with those people. They're like, all right, this is like at least somebody I could trust. They take your car, but they call you next year, like we can't be scared to walk away from it, because we have to build trust. And like usually, like we have to clean the image up, man. People already think the way they do about us. We're the same as car salesmen to people, but almost even worse, because like we're taken from the insurance company. And whatever the insurance company does, we should take notes off of that too, because their marketing is so good, because they're fucking homeowners daily, and they're making it seem like they're the good guys and we're the bad guys. Like we're pieces of shit for knocking on a door after a storm, but they're not pieces of shit for ignoring your house after a storm.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. And their prices continue to go up, but they're like, oh, well, that roofing company's charging too much. Go to so-and-so. So you're charging too much, dude. Your premiums, like, it's insane. I didn't take any claims out. My deductible went from $1,400 to $3,900. I haven't taken any claims out. I know, dude. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, well, you're on the percentage thing now. I'm like, okay, I get that, but like, how is this fair, guys? Like you're charging me so much, and then I'm State Farm. That's who my policy is under my home. So like, I'm gonna have to go to war with these guys to get paid. I know that. That's why I'm like, Amanda, we had hail at our house, and it knocked a piece of siding off, and Amanda's like, what do you think? Like, get them out of here? I'm like, hell no. I'm like, do you know who we have? I'm like, it's gonna have to be some serious shit wrong with this if I got to get these guys out of here. Like, it's a fight. And in my opinion, it shouldn't be like that, but I do understand in some cases why it would. But man, I wish people would just focus on taking care of the client, so we didn't have to, we would be the good guy. You know how much cooler this industry would be if we were the good guys?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about and ask you, so although we both were licensed, we still were licensed with, working with other contractors. Now that you're basically, you're your own PA, and I know you've talked with homeowners. How has that transition been, and how is the perception of you been? Obviously, you're a nice guy, you're presentable and all that. So I don't think that, not from like the looks from all that or like your social media, but dealing with a homeowner, explain to them, hey, I am the PA company, or not that I work with the PA company. No, it's me. Like, I'm going to be here. I'm going to talk to your insurance, and I'm going to get this handled for you. And then, hey, this contractor that I know, it's a different sell, like where we're at, we work with the PA company, but our sales rep is there to help guide them. You're the one doing it. So it's, the roles reverse. So I'm just kind of curious how that's going for you.
Well, it's going really good. When I come in contact with a customer, I'm going to do my inspection, of course, and I'm going to take pictures of everything that I see that's alarming, everything that I see that is either manufacturer defect, maybe a poor insulation, stuff like that. I'm going to explain all these different factors to them, because both sides are important. I want you to know that you have damage on your house that was just accidental, and you also have damage on your house that's from this storm. Okay. And then, bringing that to their attention, letting them know what I could offer as a service, as a PA, what the possibilities can be. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. None of us do.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's when homeowners start to get upset. But also when you overdeliver and then there's a lot on the table, homeowners sometimes become very alarmed, because that's a big amount of money that we're dealing with. And this is their livelihood. This is their home. We need to be able to deliver that and also build the trust between us. Hey, I'm going to get you in contact with this, contractor. You could pick this guy or you could pick this guy. If you got somebody, that's fine. I'll take my percentage. That's not a problem. And, just kind of work with them on it. And I've learned over the years that if you don't have communication and you don't keep up with it, at least once a week to let them know what the hell's going on, their mind starts going in other directions. And they start thinking, okay, what's going on? There's $60,000 on the table right now. I barely know this guy. How do I make them trust me? I show them my results. I show them what I'm capable of. I have integrity enough to call them and give them an update as soon as I get that email. And, keeping them excited and keeping them on board and informed and upgraded on their home, it goes so far with them. So, yeah, I've grown a lot with that, and making sure that I set alarms to call so-and-so at this time, and being honest, like, hey, this is going to be an issue. We're going to have to probably look into this. This is not something the insurance is going to pay for. This is probably going to be an out-of-pocket cost for you. And, kind of giving them a ballpark estimate on what these different things are going to cost them, and still keeping it within reason it's like gold to them.
Yeah, creating realistic expectations with them up front. Yeah, it's super huge. And that's what a lot of our content goes with, explaining the process, because I think homeowners need to understand, they need to understand a few things, but we could start with the simple ones. It's always going to cost more going to the insurance company than it is retail. Like, it just is. And they need to understand why that is. And the reason for that is because of how many people are involved in an insurance claim. It's not an easy thing. There's an adjuster involved in this, a desk adjuster. You got to get involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's software that gets involved in it. Multiple visits to the property get involved with it. Back and forth banter, estimates, emails, just it's a whole thing. A whole thing. Check process. Maybe you got to get the mortgage involved, mortgage affidavits, mail off the checks. Like, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
And if they understood that, they'd understand more. So, like, that's our goal. Our goal at Roman is to make them understand why it costs $30,000 to get the roof and siding through us, and why it only costs $15,000 to get the roof and siding through a company that's not going through the insurance. There's two reasons for that. One, because they're not going through the insurance, and two, because you're paying for it. If you want to pay out of pocket, sure, I'll do it for $15,000, or I can get you 30 for free, and we just take care of everything. You let me know what you want to do.
Right.
It's not free. Your deductible. I never waive a deductible. You're paying your deductible. Outside of that, it's virtually free, though.
It's getting people to understand it's contractors. Don't. Again, you work with, you're a PA now, but you've worked with the PAs. The ones that don't understand, to explain that to a homeowner, that those prices are built into that, right? It's explaining the actual truth of Xactimate, that it's not just, that one price. That one price encapsulates a small portion of your overhead and profit. It encapsulates the contractor, like Elijah just alluded to, like all the different aspects of it. Like, it's a business. We're a business. We're not doing, services for free. But that's why those numbers are, to a homeowner, when they say, well, inflated or it's more, well, it's because it has to pay people to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, and again, we actually had a homeowner that we spoke to recently that was, kind of upset about that. Is, they had a retail bid, and then they got they wanted to go down the insurance road, and well, that bid was more. And it's explaining that we got that. This was an estimate we gave you today. Going through the insurance took us a month. And now, again, that's why it's, $10,000 more. There's other people to pay. Also, your zip codes, and there's just so, there's so much to it.
You can't take the difference. That's what homeowners don't understand. It's $25,000 in the insurance, so you can get it done by bill for $15,000. Well, that's great, but it's insurance fraud for you to take that other 10. And then where do I come in and play at this? You think I just came here and helped you do all this for free?
Well, how are they going to get? The thing is how are they going to get the other 10? That's my thing, is how do you get that when
negotiation withheld? And then even more important, like, when I know what homeowner you're talking about, remember we were on the phone with them. Well, what do you do when they peel off the roof? We go retail on this and we do it for 15. What do you do when they peel off the roof and you're sitting there with 3/8 decking? What do you do at that point? Because code requires me to replace that to 1/2 inch. So if we're going to put 1/2 inch on this house now, guess who's paying for that? You're paying $8,000 for a full redeck. Well, guess what? It was $10,000 higher to go through me. And now you pay $8,000 plus your deductible. You paid $10,000. You still end up paying the $10,000. Like, just, if we're going to do this, and I'm a man of my word, and I shake your hand and you tell me we're going to do business together, and I deliver on what I'm supposed to deliver on, then you should deliver on what you're supposed to deliver on.
But
too.
it's also about, knowledge and, the integrity behind it, and, having, like, morals, and
that's our responsibility.
Having an understanding. But my thing with that is with the homeowner, they're like, well, the guy can do it for 15. They tear it off. It's 3/8 decking. It's out of code. He does. The truth is, he doesn't have to bring it to code. Hey, don't worry about it. I won't do that. Well, you're screwing someone over. My point. No, that's the point of it, is that for that homeowner is like, well, they'll do it cheaper. Yeah, but if they're willing to, redo your roof, in non-nailable surface, right? We're getting into the nitty gritty of it. Well, what else are they willing to? They don't care if I do the decking, right? They don't. You know what? I'm going to keep the drip edge. I'll keep the gutter apron.
And
saves me some money.
Not only homeowners, but I've seen, other owners.
Oh, sure.
Figure this out and be like, we don't have to do that. Oh, you should because you have a duty to your home.
Exactly.
And, part of why it costs so much, for when we get involved, as opposed to just when you're having, the random guy up the street do the roof. It's like there's so many factors that come into play, and we're using my brain. And I bet you didn't know you had 2x4 rafters up there, huh? Oh, man. Well, they already opened up coverage because of that cracked rafter. Now we have to redo all these rafters. Oh, man, this just turned into a can of worms. They see these results, and it kind of becomes more apparent after its complexity skyrockets. And, a bigger job is going to be a bigger payout from the insurance company. So they still have that fear coming into play. But, making sure everybody stays honest and documenting all of this from start to finish. One thing that I love that I started doing is sitting at job sites from the moment they tear off till they actually run the magnet machine at the end of the project. And I do that so that I could take pictures of the entire process. And if we run into any snags or anything that was unforeseen, I could take those pictures and I could do my supplement right there. Yep. I could get somebody on the phone right then and there and get this squared away so that the homeowner, he could sleep at night because he doesn't think he's got a $6,000 bill coming to him. I get it in writing from the insurance company, or he's on speakerphone and he hears everything that's going on and they're in agreement. Making sure he sees that I have his best interest in hand. Man, it's been working.
How great is that for you?
Do that anyway, because you're not saving.
What was that?
Well, yeah.
My thing is with that is that's where I get
He loves this shit.
That's where I get off, dude. I do. I'm a caring person. We did a bunch of personality tests. Everyone else is pretty spot on. Mine is not necessarily happy with it, but it is true. Right? I'm a caring individual. I genuinely get off what you're just saying. When I get to know that I took care of this person, there was no snags in it. Everything is going the way I wanted to. Actually, in your case, the example is even a little bit more work's getting done. That's not coming out of their pocket, but it's being done right, professionally. Mm-hmm. There's no loose ends. Everyone's on the same page. Communication's there. The insurance has already acknowledged it. That homeowner's got nothing to complain about. You've gone above and beyond. You've, again, in this scenario that you've portrayed is how can you be unhappy with that? And for you to go home and again, you're hey, I've been at this job site all day. I've done all this. That's just, there's no greater feeling to me than having that outcome, having that, above and beyond. And like you said, I sat at a job site today. I made a phone call. Yeah. It's not that this job is hard. It's just not easy. It's that
there's a lot of pieces. A lot of pieces.
And it's,
yes,
I think,
simple.
Yeah, that's it's just getting people. That's again a big part why we want to do this podcast and why we do our education is to explain this to people, because I'm sure you might even know, and I know I'm kind of going around, but people still don't know what we do. They don't know what you do. Your friends are what do you do? You buy a new house. So how the fuck do you afford that? Or you have a new truck, or
you're a roofer,
whatever you do, and you're
tarp guy.
But it's the truth. But that's the thing. They see you on your social media. They see this, and now they might see me and him doing this podcast or whatever with our other partners that do this with us, and they're oh, these fucking guys are just jagging money. Then it's they don't get that there's passion behind it. That there's people that are in this roofing space, that are in the public adjuster space, that they actually care about the people that are helping. Mm-hmm. I think it's always associated with a nurse is so loving, teachers, these industries and trades that are just so more about the public, police officers, these people have this, but it's yeah, dude, your roofer down the street might actually give a shit about you. That's how they feed their family, but they do appreciate it's helping.
The government said it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, COVID labeled us as essential, so we are essential. Also, I just laugh at people whenever we talk about the industry. Now we just laugh because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But because if you still don't think that I have any money, or you still don't think anyone's making, you just haven't been paying attention at this point. But it's the whole concept of what we do and what we don't do is just, it's hilarious, man. It is hilarious. Like you said, when they see the podcast, they're oh, those guys just jagging money. It means there's just money to jag. It's a $300 billion a year industry. $300 billion. Billion with a B industry. Like, there's so much money going around in roofing, and it's so much bigger than what people think it is. This thing is like, it's massive, dude. It's huge. We have like a very little, I mean, like this tiny fragment of it belongs to us. Like, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface. When you go to some of these bigger events and you see this stuff, like, there are people turning millions of dollars a year in this. And so are the insurance companies. They're profiting billions of dollars too. Like, this is like, the money in this is just, man, it's crazy.
The money is there. That's why we all do it.
I like the, every once in a while on Facebook, you'll see the thing, explain your job title poorly or whatever. And I like to explain it like, I beat up billion-dollar corporations and rebuild civilizations.
Pretty awesome.
At the end of the day, that's exactly what we do. And, we go into storm zones. We know what we're walking into, depending on what the data loss is, what the peril is, and you know what you're looking for. Some people don't train their guys to spot what they're looking for. Okay, well, where was the swath exactly? It doesn't mean you're going to find, spatter in that area, stuff like that. I think some of the most fulfilling things is going into an area or just getting a random phone call from somebody who's freaking out because the insurance company's not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not having their back. Finally get eyes on their, $800 under the deductible repair and turn it into a $60,000 claim.
Gutters and downspouts.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Yeah, we'll cover the front gutter, 2 downspouts. That's all we saw. Meanwhile, the house is aluminum siding and a 3-tab and just fucking rocked.
Have you done anything with B360 yet?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
It's awful technology.
Oh, dude.
So bad.
Dude. B360, and then there's another company out there that's just like them, and I forgot the name of it. I just had them on the tip of my tongue too. It was another, some carrier was using them. I hate all the third parties, man. I hate them all. It's actually the worst part about our industry. That it really is. The third party, dude, they're stupid.
I hate the robots. I hate the AI technology bullshit. Third party, okay, cool, whatever. Just come here, take a picture of this.
Depending if they're like, are you actually third party or are you trying to play adjuster? Because that's where I draw the line at. It's like, all right, third party, you're a fucking photographer. Grab your photos. Let's do this. I'll take my pictures. I'll chalk it. We could be civil with each other on here. We'll walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Good to go. Submit your report that you're never going to let me see, and let's go from there. But when they start getting up there, like question marks next to shit, or they want to write B and stuff, well, hold on a second, dude. Like, what are your credentials to be up there and tell me that's not hail? Like, that's not your job, dude. Just grab the photo. And then desk adjusters are hiding behind these guys and pretending it's, we sent an inspector out there and they didn't determine anything. Really? Well, can we see their photos? No. Can we see their report? No. What the fuck are we talking about then, man? Like, that's why we're in business.
And there's certain ways to get around those things. Like, for instance, from what I've been hearing, there's, if you get a hail claim and they send out this third party or that third party and they're marking hail and stuff like that, they're not allowed to acknowledge any of that stuff. So when it goes back to the desk adjuster who's sitting in their windowless room, they're saying, oh, okay, yeah, they're not allowed to acknowledge that. So they don't put that through. Or you get a very small repair instead of a full-blown replacement on these things. So if you do have a hail claim and they, set it up with, Hancock or whatever, whoever, I believe you could reversal that and say, hey, no, this is a hail claim. They can't talk about hail. They can't acknowledge hail. I need an actual company adjuster.
Dude, we tried all the time, bro, and they just hit us up with like, oh, well, you're not letting us investigate the loss then. We're backed up. We're backed up with Florida. This is all we have. You need to let us do it, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's crazy. Dude, they're getting so ballsy now. We had one that's like, I only do adjustments with public adjusters. They have to be present during that. I'm like, all right, cool, man. So then we only do adjustments with adjusters. So no more third parties. You have to bring somebody else here. Well, no, we're entitled to use who we want. So are we. Why can't we be the ladder assist for the PA company if you guys can send out someone who's not affiliated with the claim at all and they be the ladder assist? It's the same thing, man. Like, why is one side getting to do it and the other one's not?
I'm getting a lot of, I'll get involved in a claim that's already been running for a little bit. And then as soon as I get involved, they send me over to a different adjuster. They switch adjusters that are specifically designed to talk to public adjusters.
Yep.
So, that kind of tells me, okay, this person's going to be a difficult fight.
I disagree with that in some ways. I mean, I think it's more so that they know they have people that don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they just know kind of the opposite is that they're like, No, we need you to actually talk to people that know what the fuck they're talking about, because you're probably going to eat this guy's lunch and they're going to say something stupid to fuck us. And so they're just doing, in essence, what contractors had to do when, PAs became existent to cover homeowners and things like that. They're now trying to, all right, I guess we got to teach our guys some shit because they're going to fuck us over. I mean, it's a business, right?
I could see that.
And so, businesses are always going to do what's best for them. And so if they're paying out, because they can have somebody knowledgeable to talk to and make sure they're just paying out what they're supposed to. Again, I just look at things that way. Again, I'm too optimistic about everything.
It's super positive, and I love that.
Yeah, we manipulate on our side too, just as much as they do. We had 2 years ago, I had an adjuster that we filed a claim for siding. Siding on the top of the house. It was one of those brick bottom aluminum siding on the top. The guy wanted to go siding. He wanted siding and gutters. He didn't get it the last time. We did his roof the year prior to this, 1 year ago. Same adjuster comes out. Adjuster walks the roof with us for no reason. Told him it's not involved in a claim. He still wanted to do it. Whatever. We're letting him do his due diligence. He grabs photos of the siding, all this stuff. Submits this email to us and tells us that since we didn't replace the roof the first time, he's not going to be able to do the siding. And I said, well, we did replace the roof. And he sent me back and he goes, no, this is the exact same pictures and the exact same damage that I saw the first time I went out there. And I was like, okay. So I had to reach out to the former company and I got the receipts. This is before I was at Roman. So I got the receipts from him for the roof removal. And I actually had photos. So I sent it to him and I said, no, this was the shingle that was on there originally. And then this is the one you did now. Still a gray shingle, but it's not the same thing. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, well, I just didn't see it on the siding. And I was like, hey, no worries, but you have to replace the roof now. Like, I need a full roof replacement. And he was like, what do you mean? The roof wasn't involved in a claim. I said, no, it wasn't. But you did send an email that said it's the exact same damage you saw the first time you went out there, which you warranted for a full roof replacement. So now it's the same damage that warranted that. Don't we need a full roof replacement? And he literally had to replace a roof that was only like 10 months old. And it was because of the wording that he used inside of the email, which I know, like, it is what it is. He ignored damage on the siding, but like, that's probably why they don't want to talk to us.
Yeah.
They do things like that. And then you're like, oh, well, thanks. I'll take the.
Yeah, I've seen some fun stuff happen with some of these adjusters, and some of them are fun and wholesome. Other times it's like, okay, why are you being such a dick?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going after your personal bank account.
Dude, that's what they think too. They think they got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, that's my favorite.
Yeah. We've already given you well, stop. Who's we? Are you a shareholder? What do you mean we've given you? You haven't given me shit. Like, this ain't even my money either. Like, what are we talking about? It's a homeowner, dude. Like, just picture yourself as the homeowner. Let's just do that. Why are we even arguing with each other? Like, you work for who you work for. I work for who I work for. We're here for the people underneath us. Like, this is what we're here for. This is a family. This is real damage. Let's look at it. Let's be fair with each other. They don't want to do that ever.
I try to build as many relationships as I can with these adjusters because you see them over and over and over. And, eventually you'll have them all locked in your phone. You could answer the phone. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Brown? And, you establish a good form of communication. Even if it's not going in your favor sometimes, it's good to keep that because, on the next one, they remember you. They know what you stood for. They remember you taking their bad news like an adult, and at the end of the day, I think a lot of them are trying to do the same thing we're doing and just get this stuff off their plate because they're so bombarded. And I keep that in mind constantly. They go through a lot of shit from up above. And, some of these adjusters, they call me on Thanksgiving. I got probably 5 phone calls from adjusters. And that's cool because, I didn't, shit on their birthday.
Bro, we had a former employee a couple weeks ago just tried to flip a job from us. And the adjuster called me. I was like, hey, I just wanted to give you a heads up, man. This guy's trying to do this. He's like, reach out to me. I told him, absolutely not. And then the adjuster was like, I also went ahead and reached out to the homeowner, let them know that, you guys do quality work. You're a good company. Like, they shouldn't go anywhere with it. So then the homeowner called me afterward. I called them afterward and I was like, hey, I spoke with so-and-so. And they're like, yeah, we're going to go through you. I didn't know what to do because they were coming to us, telling us all this other stuff. And it was crazy because like, man, the relationship that we have with the adjuster, like, called me directly on my phone. It was like, hey, Elijah, like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's kind of cool, dude. Like, the homeowner didn't even trick on you. Like, they did because the mutual respect that we have. But I also hate politics in this industry. I really do, because I think that hurts us too. Because I've been on the other aspect of that. Like, I sign 3 quality signs, and 2 of the guys on my team signed 2 quality signs. This is when I was a sales rep. We go and we got an adjuster. Same insurance company. We got 5 to go in the storm swap. Hell yeah, money. 3 aluminums, bang, 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 bang. At the end of the 5th adjustment, the adjuster looks over and he's like, all right, pick one. One's got to go. Like, we can't, he's like, it's going to get dinged. You might get 3 out of this if it goes to the top. Like, we have to pick one right here that can't go through. Which one would you pick to not go through? And I'm like, that's fucked up. Like, it's happened multiple times, dude. I'm not going to put anybody on blast for it, but multiple times.
Yeah.
Or I've gotten adjusters to get out of the car, and immediately, dude, there's one in particular. I'll tell you about him after we're done with this. One in particular, he gets out of the car. He always chews his gum like an asshole. And he goes, pick 2 sides. Dude, I got him on camera doing that. Like, that's why he goes, pick 2 sides. I'm like, well, why don't we look at the house? We'll go for, no, pick 2 sides, pick the direction. That's the only ones we're looking at. Dude, like, this is not, you think the homeowner paid for that? Like, did they tell you, when they're collecting the premiums, you guys tell them we're only looking at 2 sides of siding? Like, what do you mean 2 sides? Like, let's look at the whole house.
I like the adjusters who say, I don't like supplements, right?
Oh, dude.
Like, all right, just buy it. We'll see. You
Yeah.
see how good it is. Okay, because 9 times out of 10, you forgot something.
Mhm.
I'm going to take my measurements anyways, regardless of what your Eagle View says, because it's not always 100%. Okay, we're humans. We make mistakes. So I'm gonna check your work. We're going to see where we're at.
Yeah. 2,000 a square, man. I won't supplement you.
I get real personal with some of these adjusters. Like, we're going to have a conversation, whether you show up and, you want to be closed off. Hey, how you doing? Good. Excellent. Now I know this is going to be a challenge. I like challenges. So I'll wait until you open up to me. We're going to be friends by the end of this. I had one a few weeks ago. Ended up getting the adjuster to admit that they used their cat's litter box once. That was deep. And I don't think, we're all lucky enough to get that type of super secret time with an adjuster, but man, it feels good when you can unlock.
That's amazing. You made me think of mall rats when they're in the elevator. And he's like, hey, you guys seen that? Or he's talking to the dude and he's like, come on, bro. He never just like tasted it. That's where he's like, no, dude. You're like, you never like the whole bitterness or whatever. And he's like, going on this whole thing. And then at the end, the guy's like, all right, one time, he's like, what about you? And the guy's like, hell no, dude. He's like, what's wrong with you? Like, no, I never do. Like, that's what that just made me think about. That's so funny. It's a good movie. It's a great movie. That's like, yeah, super great movie. Do you watch horror movies? You look like you watch horror movies.
I do. I almost watched Terrifier 3 last night. I was going to watch Stream.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I was going to rent it last night.
I haven't heard good things, unfortunately. But
no.
A lot of people in there. R.I.P. Tony Todd, he's in there.
Yeah, I just like, that whole group of people that are creating because they're doing something different.
Oh, yeah.
For their industry.
Oh, yeah.
And I like seeing that kind of stuff stand out. It's not just your cookie cutter, what we've been fed for the last 25 years. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Like Terrifier 3 was brutal.
Yeah, I got to meet, I got to meet the whole cast, but Damien, the director, that's what I told him. I said, honestly, dude, thank you. Like, you saved this. Even, I know he gets a lot of fluff and people worship him right now, but dude, straight up, he gave us an icon.
Yeah.
That guy hit the scene right out the gate and we we're like, oh man, this is hell yeah. And then it just continued to intensify.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of funniness in the third one, but cause I think the second one's the best one. But the third one's really brutal, like you said, and he really pushes the envelope. And then when we saw him, he was like, I'm going to go further. He's like, as long as they let me make them, he's like, I'm going to go deeper and deeper into it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I was actually surprised they didn't show, the beginning scene, the opening scene. I was surprised they didn't show it, That's what I told him when I met him. Like, dude, you gotta show us that. We need to see that. That's how you push it. He's like, I don't know, John. He's like, I don't know if anybody will be approved for that. I'm like,
have you seen?
No one.
You haven't watched Terrifier 3?
No, I have. We went to theaters and seen that, and I was like,
he went with us too. Yeah.
I've got a pretty good, poker face when it comes down to it, and not a lot of things gross me out. That was pushing it, and I was like, holy shit, dude, they did it on this one, and the shower scene,
it's the best.
Poor kid.
It's the best. I saw it coming though. As soon as he started crawling, I'm like, oh no, He's gonna rev it up, but it's going.
Yep.
Yep. And then there's actually a part that flew under the radar. I can't talk about it on here. There's a part that I'll bring it up, but you probably didn't even see it. You probably when I heard about it, I'm like, that didn't happen. I had to go back and watch it again. I'm like, oh my God. There's the Sam Scaffidi's character, What's her name? The messed up face in the third one with her. Is that Victoria?
The chick in the bathtub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But her character does something ridiculous in that movie, and I bet you didn't even catch it. Like I didn't catch it the first time.
We'll talk about this at lunch.
Yeah, I didn't catch it the first time, but yeah. All right, man. Well, unfortunately, we have to wrap this up. As much as we want to keep hanging out on here and doing this.
No, it was fun, man.
What'd you close out at, by the way? Like, do you count your supplements and stuff like that? Like, where are you closing out at?
For the year?
Yeah, what'd you add?
I'm a little shy of about 720.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That was good for a 2-man operation.
That was from August 1st.
Hell yeah.
For you, man.
So I've been kicking ass, dude. It was a lot of tree claims and stuff like that. And I'm hoping I can maybe hit that mil mark for the year. I know at the last company I was with, I was probably a good half of that, but I don't remember what those numbers were. Hoping to hit that mark this year.
Are you happy?
If not, dude, so much happier.
That's really all
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That really is all.
Like I had a few grays, back in January. They went away.
Fuck you.
So
I got grays. I had to shave it down, but I have grays all over now. How old are you?
I'm 35.
Oh, you're still a baby.
Yeah, we had it in January.
A bunch of mutual friends. Him and Eris are good friends. They work together.
Just did his mom's roof.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, you got actually. That's not awesome. What a piece of shit.
Well, you know what? We kicked him out of the fantasy football league, and I think that's what it is.
No, she lives down the block from me.
Oh, okay.
And literally they had like 3 trees land on the house.
Jeez.
So I went over there. Funny story. I got lost. Like I said earlier, there's trees in the road. I ended up at the wrong house. So they were the next door neighbor. So I signed both of them.
Nice.
Because there was 18 trees collectively in this giant backyard, all down. I want to say there was $30,000 worth of landscaping that needed to be done. And I want to say $46,000 of tree removal with both houses. So yeah, I was right down the street. He needed somebody right there, right then. So that's why he called.
Yeah, that's good.
That's super cool.
Did you ever eat? You ate his food and stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, those tacos are stupid.
Man,
Stupid good.
I like when he does stuff that's not on the menu, and he'll be like, something special for you.
Oh yeah,
he'll take care of me.
And then he always has a beer to top it off with, like some crazy beer. It's real good. He's actually the one that got me into the Purgatory. What's that called?
Temporal.
Yeah, Purgatory. Dude, that beer is really.
That's where I met Eris, because I worked at 18th Street.
Yeah, I was gonna say you worked there, right? Were you a bartender or a bar back? Or
I was a Rockstar bartender over there.
Rockstar bartender. There you go. Nice.
Man, I was in such better shape. It was good times. I learned a lot about beer, learned a lot about people, and I was even brewing myself there. They let me come in the mornings and take all the readings of the alcohol and stuff, and I started making my own mead at home.
Very cool.
So that's something else I've been doing this year. It's been fun.
Well,
yeah,
like
one of our partners, our Malice, is big into.
He's really big into that.
Yeah. He brought some mead to the Notre Dame game, and dude, it was so good. But he stayed and he dropped this it was like a raspberry mead or something like that, some type of berry mead, and he spilt it on my green Notre Dame hood.
Well, look up.
And it's like,
do you guys drink?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring you a bottle next time.
That'd be super.
That's how much I'm out.
If you're looking for like fun beer, look up a guy on Instagram. His name's the Midwestern Man.
Okay.
He's always posting like different beers, different whiskeys, like different alcohols.
Nice.
It's actually fucking awesome. And he's from around the area.
The Midwestern Man.
The Midwestern Man. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
The next time we get you on here, because they've been hounding me about it too. Reven's actually brought it up multiple times. We need to have something like that. So the next time you come on here, you bring a beer, I'll bring a beer, he'll bring a beer, and I'll have Mike join us.
We'll do it
Mike drink beer. Yeah, and we'll just sit here and
This will be a good episode.
Shit, as they say, chop it up.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
I'm down. I appreciate you guys having me today.
Yeah, no,
thank you for just talking.
This now because I
sings the shit.
I just tried to buy the Viking horn like 2 days ago, and it couldn't get here till Friday. I'm gonna get it now though. You're getting one after that. Yeah.
How good does it look?
I told you already.
I know, like it feels good. We're going to get lunch. I'm wearing this to lunch.
You went from I feel real safe around him because of his voice to now you feel evil now.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
I feel like I don't want to do business with him.
Metaphorically, figuratively, and emotionally.
Yeah.
most
That's why you don't
importantly,
do business with friends.
physically.
True. I hate you so much. All right, guys. It's been real. Been fun. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas to you.
And you know what? It's been real fun.
So stupid. All right, guys. See you on the next one.